Jeff.
Linda, it has been, as you mentioned, 8 days since Jim Pappas was jumped and killed as he opened his Godfather's gas station here on Green Bay Road. The memorial bouquet that sits outside the gas station, as you can see, has already browned and started to wilt, and his killer has still not yet been caught. So the Pappas family believes the Evanston Police Department is doing everything they can to bring that killer to justice. But they have gone ahead and scraped together their savings and solicited donations in an effort to offer a financial incentive to solve this case. Jim Pappas served in the Navy and survived the Gulf War, only to be gunned down while at work in Evanston.
My son, he went to the Persian Gulf, of course, and he didn't get hurt from bullet from the war, but he came back to Chicago. He got civilian bullet.
This afternoon, Jimmy's father and two younger brothers gathered at the scene of his murder to announce an $11,000 reward for anyone with information leading to the arrest and conviction of whomever killed the 27-year-old Gulf War veteran.
Our brother defended the honor and freedom of our country. If you have any information, please call and defend his honor.
As Jimmy arrived for work at his Godfather's Citgo station more than a week ago, police say his killer was lying in wait outside. A struggle ensued. Jimmy was shot in the back and beaten with what his family believes was a fire extinguisher. Police say they have some leads, but need the community's help to solve this crime.
Now we're hoping that maybe it'll shake up some people. Wow, these people are going to offer this money. Why not? Why not? For a small conversation, I could have this reward money. I don't have to let anybody know who I am. We're thinking the award money will influence them to come forward.
Now, the family is hoping that someone with information will see one of the hundreds of these flyers that they posted around stores in Evanston, or perhaps see this story and then call Crime Stoppers. We have that number we can show you now. The number is 800-535-STOP. That is 7867, 800-535-STOP. You can do so, they remind us, anonymously. The family also says the reward fund is growing every day. Live in Evanston, I'm Jeff Mireles, News 2 Chicago. Linda Lester, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
Murdered community activist Arnold Mireles is being remembered tonight as a few dozen people held a prayer vigil. They gathered at 88th and Exchange in South Chicago, where Mireles was shot to death last December. 3 men face murder charges in the slaying. Authorities believe Mireles was killed because of his work against slumlords, work that is continuing under new leadership. News 2 Chicago's John Davis has more.
Her name is Rosa Perea. Friends say she, as much as anyone in this community, embodies the spirit of Arnold Mireles. Perea works side by side with Mireles in his tireless campaign to rid their neighborhood of gangs and slumlords, one of whom, 62-year-old Roel Salinas, is accused along with 2 other men in the murder of Arnold Mireles.
He was my very good friend, and aside from that, he was my neighbor and he was my co-worker. We worked together, we were always together, and he was somebody special to me and to my community.
Perea directs the community programs for the neighborhood center founded by Arnold Mireles. 35-year-old Arnold Mireles earned his reputation as a community activist by doing the work that others refused to do or were afraid to do.
And he wouldn't ask other people to do it for him, he would do it. He did door to door. But I think it was his secret. He did a lot of door to door and actually talked to the people.
Before his murder last December, Arnold Mireles was the subject of this cable television documentary depicting his ongoing war against abandoned buildings in his Southeast Side neighborhood. That war continues, but it is now led by Rosa Perea.
What we do is for him also, even though he's gone.
Never forgotten.
Never forgotten. It's still in our hearts.
On the Southeast Side, John Davis, News 2 Chicago.
A week from tomorrow, another candlelight vigil will be held to honor Arnold Mireles and to mark the 5th anniversary of the city's CAPS. That's a community policing program.
More than $2 million in cash, what Chicago police now believe is drug money, found in an apartment in the 7000 block of West Diversey. Detectives think the apartment was used by an international drug ring to process and package drugs. No drug stashes were found, only the cash. boxes full of 1s, 5s, 10s, and 20s. There have been no arrests yet, but the investigation continues. A counselor at Brother Rice High School who is charged with soliciting sex over the internet must stay in Illinois. When Brother Robert Briette appeared this morning in court, the judge denied a motion to expand his bail. That means Briette cannot leave the state. He is accused of trying to arrange a sexual rendezvous with someone whom he believed to have been a 12-year-old boy. That person turned out to be a very young-looking Cook County Sheriff's police officer who then arrested him.
A hard line today from the Vatican in response to a Chicago jury's decision on abortion protests. The jury decided anti-abortion groups cannot forcibly interfere with clinics and their patients. Today, a spokesman of the Vatican says Catholics should resist that ruling. And at Chicago's Holy Name Cathedral, Father Robert McLaughlin reinforced the Catholic Church's position, saying the Church must continue to take a stand when the law of the land is in opposition to the law of God.
Whether you're Catholic or whatever religion, respecting life and in all forms is a higher consciousness. And if the Church needs to step in and raise our consciousness, well then, so be it.
The Chicago Archdiocese is expected to file a friend of the court on behalf of the defendants at the appellate level.
City of Chicago has launched a campaign to bring quality daycare to children who have not even started kindergarten yet. The mayor made the announcement today at the Albany Park Community Center on the city's north side. He said 6 new or expanded child care centers would open next year. 3 additional centers are being planned. Schools Chief Paul Vallis said the need is dramatic.
Every school that has a state pre-K program tells us that there's 2 children for every 1 available slot, despite the fact that we've added 10,000 additional slots.
The city is also looking for corporate and private donations to help child care providers receive accreditation, and it's lobbying the General Assembly to pass legislation to raise the base rate paid to child care teachers.
Good news tonight if you live in Cook County and own a home. The county board today unanimously approved an $18.7 million property tax abatement, meaning homeowners are in for a savings. For example, the abatement will trim $7.50 off the fall tax bill of a $100,000 home. Cook County Board President John Stroger says refinancing of existing debts and a strong economy made the abatement possible.
A carjacking on the south side has some tragic results. The search for the gunman and the stolen vehicle coming up on News 2 Chicago.
Plus the fight over an earring at a suburban grade school, an earring worn by an 8-year-old boy.
And when it comes to history lessons, students at one Chicago school are really getting into the swing of things.
You're watching News 2 Chicago with Lester Holt, Linda McLennan, Steve Baskerville, and Tim Weigel. This is News 2 Chicago.
Nothing compares to Seattle Sutton's healthy eating. Because we prepare all your meals for the week. Our meals are not frozen or dried, they're fresh. They're for anybody who wants to eat healthy or lose weight. We have delivery available to your home or office. At Seattle Sutton's Healthy Eating, we follow the guidelines of the American Heart Association. Low fat, low cholesterol, and sodium restricted. So you're eating what you should be eating for the rest of your life. Call us now, 800-442-DIET.
Chicago. 8 million people living, working together.
Here's to Chicago.
At News 2 Chicago, we're proud to bring you their stories.
Chicago stories.
Stories about hopes and dreams.
Chicago's filled with stories of good times and tough times.
That's Chicago.
No matter what the story, we'll be proud to say, here's to Chicago. News 2 Chicago. Take another look.
We're here with Eddie and Mike. Now, Eddie here thinks that saving a few pennies per gallon on gas just doesn't add up to much. But in fact, with the extra gas those pennies will buy, Mike and his trusted dog can make 15 more trips to the park each year. At Clark, Mike gets high-quality gas just like those big oil places, but for less money, which means more miles per dollar. We call that MPD. So while Mike's off to the park, Eddie is, well, just parked. Clark, great gas, great price.
Sparky,